AI is ruining everything about YouTube. You see Mr. Beast put out like an AI thumbnail creator?
I didn't. I saw that he was getting flack for it.
Yeah.
That's the article.
That's what I saw too. Yeah. I didn't dive any deeper. I was like, good enough.
Yeah.
I think you can tell by looking at our thumbnails. Not AI. Just this guy.
Hell yeah.
The titles are, though.
Give it a few years.
Yeah, the titles
Be
are
able to
all AI.
Smash our face with the. You trained it on our last 60, and then you're screwed.
Yeah. Put this person's face kind of smiling right here, and then this person's face kind of not smiling over here.
Like I trained this AI on 6 years worth of videos.
Ooh.
6 years. Well, yeah, most of it's empty.
Yeah, it's about 48 minutes. Let's be honest. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Rub and Cinema. See, I did it then because I knew I had one of you knocked out, and I don't think Nate was paying attention, so it was perfect timing.
I chose not to interrupt you because I'm broken
What does that mean?
by this movie.
Oh, okay.
I don't feel silly.
Oh, that sucks. Well, today we're going to be looking at the movie The Surfer, starring Nick Cage. Now available on demand. And to talk about that today, it's my guests as always, Nate and Jake. Nate, you already told us you're not feeling silly. How are you feeling?
Like, life is meaningless.
Ooh, nihilism. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That's it? That's all I got. Okay.
That's
Yeah.
it. What did I
It's
say?
a true nihilist.
Legitimately
I
empty.
literally just finished this movie.
Yeah.
It's sitting with me.
Huh. That's good. Jake, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling great. I watched this movie earlier today. Had a little time to sit on it, think about it, do some reading and watching about it, and yeah, I'm excited to see what you guys thought and talk about The Surfer, which pure Nick Cage.
Oh, yeah.
There's like this Nick Cage genre of films. I think I think a core part of the genre is like a descent into madness, right?
Yes. Very much so.
And
100% commitment to every role.
Yeah.
yes,
He doesn't.
Do you think that he didn't eat for 3 days to prepare for his absolute low point?
Just sat in the sun.
Because it's definitely him. I mean, obviously makeup and stuff, but like after he recovers and he got up, I was like, I forgot what Nick Cage looked like. I was like, wow.
Yeah, that was really well done. So yeah, we're gonna be talking about The Surfer. Let's get into the nitty gritty. Surfer, released in 2024, now available on demand. Written by Thomas Martin, directed by Lorcas Finnegan, who also wrote and directed Vivarium. Came out 2019. Little story about houses. Yeah, this has Nick Cage is the main guy, and Julian McMahon, who Nip Tuck fans know as Dr. Christian Troy, and Fantastic Four haters know as Dr. Doom.
Hey.
Yeah.
back when the Fantastic Four was trash.
Trying hard. Yeah, we'll find out in a couple weeks if they're...
I was like, arguably it's
If
still
it is
trash
anymore.
until the new one, right?
Yeah, they got some time still.
Is the best movie version of Fantastic Four? Is that the cameo in Daredevil? Not Daredevil.
Deadpool?
Deadpool.
Probably. I haven't seen that movie yet, but
yeah.
I assume it is.
Wow.
Deadpool and Wolverine? I don't know. Oh, please.
Ben Warren.
Every cameo's in there. Gambit. I know that's in there.
Oh my god. Honestly, my easily in my top cinematic superheroes
Gambit?
is Channing Tatum Gambit.
Oh, okay, yeah. Does he have the
It's
New Orleans
so
drawl?
good. Oh,
Yeah.
it's like
So
211.
Damn, he's beignets
It's
dripping
so
out his
good.
mouth. All right. Hell yeah.
You said that's much more understandable than anything
Yeah.
he said in the
Ooh.
entire cameo.
Raging
It's
Cajun.
It's more like, yeah, but
We're gonna get dang on cards, man. I'm gonna go jack clubs, man. Jack clubs. So The Surfer is about Nick Cage, who has Nick Cage's voice, but was born in Australia. and was there presumably till he was 15.
I appreciate that they addressed it.
Yes, they did. A character even brings it up. You sound American.
Right at our breaking point, right when Taylor turned to me and said, like, he's Australian in this, right? And then the woman goes, I thought you were American. And then he explains. They knew it. I appreciate that the editor knew exactly when to put that in.
They're like, we've heard Nick Cage's voice a lot, but I definitely think he said he was born here. He returns to Australia. They don't say where, but from the internet, they seem to think it's Melbourne. That's a Melbourne type place. And he wants to go surf with his son.
Find the insanely aggressive locals.
Yeah, that's where you find the man camps. He wants to surf with his son, but a bunch of locals who are all like 20 to 40-year-old guys, and then like a 50-year-old head weirdo. That's Dr. Troy or Victor Von Doom, if you will. What's his name in the show? We should actually say his name. I don't know if he has one.
I forgot to. I thought, just thinking of Fantastic Four cameos, for the briefest second that the cop was
Pedro Pascal.
What's his name? Pedro Pascal. He opened the door and I thought it was him for a second. And I was like, everything.
Hey, everything.
and then I saw him for a second where I was like, oh no, not quite.
He already did a movie with Nick Cage. All right, he's moved on. We're past that.
Oh, I just want to watch that movie again.
I would rather have. So Nick Cage.
No, this wasn't good. Don't smirk.
No, it's
Just...
5 out of 10. Oh, spoiler alert for you. 5 out of 10. Did not like it. Yeah.
Wow. That's incorrect based on your scale.
We'll see.
That's what I'll say.
I know I'll be more mad when you tell me the two movies that's in between.
Exactly.
Oh, I know.
I remember the 5s, and you're
okay,
gonna
hang on.
be pissed.
Let me look. Let me double check. Let's just get to it now. Let's get to this. So I rated it 5 out of 10. I put it ahead of Mountainhead. I think we can all agree that's true.
Yeah.
And behind the first Scary Movie.
Wild. I think that's wild.
Yeah.
Though I don't remember I don't remember the first.
It's the Scream one.
There's so many scary movies, and I just remember eventually hating them. I know I loved the first one when I saw it the first time.
And there's another one coming
but
out.
I don't know if it holds up.
That was back when you used to like movies.
It's a lot of gay jokes, a lot of homophobic jokes.
If I can find it in my heart to like this movie.
Yeah. It's a lot of...
Oh, yeah. I bet a lot of the humor didn't age well.
Oh, yeah. A lot of the jock being gay and being like, I ain't gay. Like that. That was half of it. But the other half is like a Scream funny, and it was pretty good. I like that. So the surfer is Nick Cage is stuck on... He tries to surf, can't surf. They like beat him, so he can't come out with him. His son's like, Dad, I just want to go back to school, which is like the ultimate fuck you to your dad. I'd rather be at school than hang with you. Wow.
Yeah, than to get called out of school to go surf.
The thing that absolutely baffled me the most, like, the thing that I want was just, I can appreciate it being mysterious, but the backstory, like, the son is not down with the dad.
No.
Like, from the get-go, like, I get it kind of, but like, to show us, to have it that be that strong and not explain it to us at all is rough.
So my take is that he's a very distant working first dad, and that's why his wife left him, and his kid is old enough to like make his own choices about who he wants to hang out with, and it's not his dad.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, he seems like a business talk on the phone. He's like a talk on the phone while ordering his coffee kind of guy. Like that's who Nick Cage is, the surfer.
Yeah.
It is funny because like the plot makes you like, you know, mostly side with him, but every time he interacts with someone, especially at the beginning, I'm like, he's a dick.
Yeah.
He's a fucking asshole.
He doesn't really come across as sympathetic until he starts getting bullied.
Hardcore.
And bullied is the lightest possible term you could use for this.
Yeah.
Psychological torture.
The first 20 minutes they bullied him, and then after that it was pain.
Yeah.
So Nick Cage is like staunch in his idea that he's going to surf, and these group of hooligans, the Bay Boys, as they're called, are not going to get in his way. So the Bay Boys just keep fucking with him. They steal his surfboard, they write on his car, they do like little things like that all throughout. But then Nick Cage calls the cops.
And hold on, I think it's important to point out, so he's there to buy his childhood home.
Yes.
That's why he wants to go surfing with his son, is because he has this dream that, okay, the best vantage point of the house is you go out into the water and then you can look back and see the house.
Yeah.
So he's going to do that. They're going to go out in the water and he's going to look back and say, I just bought that house. We're going to live here and be a happy family.
You like that house?
So that's why he's
so
intent. Yeah, that's why he's so intent on going out there in the first place, and then this drama happens, and then I think his motives kind of start to change. But
yeah, thank you. There's a good point out. The motives. Why are you doing this? Why are you doing everything you're doing, Nick, the surfer? So Nick Cage starts to kind of lose his mind. There's a homeless man there, and he has like a Subaru, and his dog is missing, and his son is maybe gone, maybe not. We're kind of not sure.
They kind of bond over that. So when Nick Cage goes down onto the beach, they tell him, hey, you can't surf here. It's locals only. They get into first a verbal altercation. It's a little bit of like, they're puffed up, and the leader of the group takes him off to the side and is like, look, man, I know it's smarts to lose face in front of your son, but just know when you're beat, you got to turn around.
Mm-hmm. I thought you were going to go for an Australian accent there. I think you started and then you stopped.
I didn't start. If I'm in practice, I can rock one, but I'm not, so I'm not going to try.
That's fair.
I'm enjoying it too. Jay was not going for any kind of impression because he said, hey, you can't surf here. He literally just don't live here, don't surf here.
Yeah.
Just chanting that over and over again. There was no lead up, just that's all he said.
Yeah, there's a lot of chanting in this group.
Fucking meathead.
Surfer, surfer, surfer,
it's like,
surfer.
That was wild. But no, just everyone in this movie is insane,
batshit crazy.
Even the people who seem normal.
Yeah.
Every single person except the photographer acts absolutely insane at some point.
Batshit crazy. So Nick Cage is hanging out. He meets a photographer. She takes the pictures of him. He tells him his story about how he used to be a writer and a surfer, and now he kind of like fell back on being a business person. And he sounds kind of like not cool with where his life is right now, but he's trying to get it back to where it was. And she's living her life like she wants to for the first time. So he's kind of seeing like where it could be and getting hopeful. She jumps his car because the battery's dead when he tries to leave after the cop shows up. And the cop is like buddies with the Bay Boys. Like the cop says, all right, you stay here, mate, and I'm going to go down and talk to them. And then he goes down and talks to him, and Nick Cage kind of like creeps up, and he sees that the cop is just like high-fiving, kneeling down, having a beer, hanging out. And the reason Nick Cage called the cops is because he took the Bay Boys took his surfboard and hung it up on their little like hangout shack and wrote Sanctuary on it. So Nick Cage comes down and goes, hey, are you guys like friends? And then the guy's like, we've known each other. I don't surf, mate. I don't do that. And then
fucking liar, by the way.
Yeah, big time. Big time.
Just occurring to me.
And then the cop says that he's seen that surfboard there for 7 years. So just completely gaslights him. Like, that's this movie. This movie is Gaslight the movie.
Yeah, well, it's like to the point where the movie gaslights you. Like,
yeah.
That's when I thought this movie was going to be a 7. I thought that was where they were going. And then they didn't, and I was not happy with how it ended. But we'll get into that.
All right.
So as the movie goes forward, Nick Cage gets more and more psychologically fucked with. They put dog poop on the only water fountain nearby, so he can't get water anymore. He goes to the bathroom and puts his like clothes and shoes in a little area, and then he tries to go like to the bathroom, and then he hears the homeless guy walk in, and he kind of peers over, and he's putting a bag up in the bathroom area. And as he walks by, he says, now it's on you, mate. Something like that. Like, basically, like, your turn to deal with them. So it's kind of this, like, all right, nuclear option has been presented to the movie. Let's see where it goes. Nick Cage comes out. All of his stuff is gone, except for his binoculars, which he got off of the homeless guy for a pair of glasses. So he's now just in his shirt and pants, no shoes, no sunglasses, no water, and we're on day 2 of him being on a beach parking lot in Australia. He walks out to get kind of into it with these people, and he sees people writing on his car. They write kook on his car, and he runs after him, and he steps in broken glass. So like perfectly set up for these people, just fuck with him, and he's broken glass.
What are this man's feet made of?
Fucking
That's what
iron.
I want to know.
Iron. That's what they're made out of. So now he's got cut up feet. His car says kook on it. His phone dies now. He can't buy coffee anymore. So he gives his phone and his watch, which was his dad's, to the coffee salesperson and says, "Hey, can you just charge this?" And the coffee salesperson like haggles with him, and he's like, "I need collateral." And Nick Cage is like, "You have the phone. A flat white's like $6."
Yeah.
And
A flatty.
A flatty. Flatty. I'll take a flat white, a banana raisin muffin, and an OJ.
You know, I bet if he had an Australian accent, this would have gone 90% better for him.
I don't know what you're doing. That sounds just like British now. I'll work on that.
Just add a little more criminality.
Like, imagine this from the surface perspective. He comes up, he's like, "I grew up here," and you're like, "No, you fucking
what
didn't."
The fuck?
What are you talking about?
One of these does not sound like the other. I grew up here. My dad was here. Okay, buddy. So old man gives a story to Nick Cage's character about the dog, and that was a little bit earlier, but he does mention who the head guy is. The head guy is Sully. Is that what you said? Or Scully? Scally. And he knew the surfer growing up. Nick Cage knew Scally when he was growing up. Like the name sounds familiar. That guy's family basically like owns all the land in the area. He's kind of like, hot shit. But
yeah,
born on third base, thought he had a triple kind of guy, So it ratchets up to the point where, and then at one point, Nick Cage's car gets stolen. So now he doesn't have a car. He doesn't have his watch. He doesn't have his phone. He has no shoes. And he has no sunglasses. And he's not had any water. And he's out in the sun, and there's no car for him now.
He's also been waiting this whole because he's still trying to buy that house. There's been a little bit of financial pressure. They say, "Oh, there's someone now with a cash offer. You got to come up with $100K more." So he's been waiting back and forth with the bank to try and get him like 100,000 more, so he can increase his offer and get that house. So this whole time he's so obsessed because he just knows, okay, if that call comes through, I'll get the house. And I'll live here again. I'll be a local, and all my problems will be solved. He's so obsessed by thinking if he can get this house, then him and his family will live there happily ever after. And so that's why he's
to the contrary.
Yeah, that's why he's so. When his phone dies, he needs it charged, and he's able to, from a payphone, he calls out. And he's like, okay, or he calls the bank.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, when they call me back, call me.
Number.
So he gives them the payphone's number.
Yep.
So
earlier, when he had his phone still, one of the last calls he gets is from his ex-wife, or we assume is about to be his ex-wife, because she says sign some papers. And he,
I think it's a fair assumption.
Yeah, and she's pregnant with another man who she's getting married to. So
patching things up.
Yeah. So that was gone.
That was.
I mean, he's clearly in now because he hasn't signed the papers.
Yeah.
So and she's moved on enough that she's pregnant.
Yeah.
And he goes, "Oh, it's a real shotgun wedding here," and she's not even insulted. She just kind of laughs, and she's like, "I'm a bit long in the tooth for that."
I'm too old for that.
So, it's clearly been a while that they're separated, long enough that she's moved on and is now serious enough with someone else that she's engaged and pregnant.
Yeah. That's a good TLC show. Engaged and Pregnant. So Nick Cage is now basically homeless, looks homeless, acts homeless, and the realtor is showing the house that he wants to buy. Well, he's showing someone around the lake area, around the beach area. And so the realtor comes down with his family, and he's talking about like the beach and how close it is and all that. And then Nick Cage recognizes him, and he's like, "Hey, you're my guy." And the guy's like, "I've never seen you before in my life. I don't know what you're talking about. You're a crazy homeless person. Quit it." And then the cops come because that guy calls the cops, and the cop is like, you were in this car yesterday, and he's talking about the homeless guy's Subaru that's broken down. It's been there forever. He's like, I told you to fix the flat, get it done, and you can get out of here. So now, like, Nick Cage is starting to think, am I the homeless guy? And that's where I thought this movie was going, is that he is the homeless guy. And we're now going to experience, like, what a homeless person goes through. Because if you look at it through that lens, like, what they see in the movie is, like, it's really hard to find water. It's hard to find anywhere to be. Nobody wants to be you to be around. You thought all these things were true, and they're not anymore, but they might have been at one point, and you can't get out of your head. Like, I thought that was a really interesting turn this movie was taking, because up until that point, it was feeling long. It was just one note, hit over and over and over. And it was like ratcheting up. I agree. But it was so one note of just like, shit on this guy, shit on this guy, shit on this guy.
It is. And that for me, that's my number one critique of this movie is it's too long right there in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
It's uncomfortable watching how they treat him, and he makes the same stupid mistakes over and over.
Yes.
And he doesn't learn from the fact that these locals don't want him there.
Yep.
And he gives away his watch. He gives away his phone. He, at a certain point,
kind of desperation.
Yeah. Yeah, he's desperate for this, but it's also frustrating because he doesn't learn from these things.
Yeah, like to what you were saying, like before the review, where they're like, "Why didn't he just leave?" Like, there definitely is at the beginning a lot of where you're just like, "This is like, it is wild to stay here."
Yeah.
In this situation.
Yeah.
Like, it is betraying, even though they're in the wrong. It is betraying something wrong with you that you're staying here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We go well past that. Like, by day 2 of being in that parking lot, you're just like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
But yeah, it definitely does blend in, like, because like we've said, like he's by the point that he's lost his ring and his phone and the car, I mean, it's becoming unclear what is real and what isn't, because everyone is gaslighting him. They're not just saying, like, they're not just bullying him and being like, "Oh, I got your phone." They're like, "What are you talking about? I've never seen you before."
Mm-hmm.
And just pretending like he's being crazy.
Yeah, he goes back to the coffee shop to get his phone and his watch, and the guy's like, "I've never seen you before. This is the watch my dad gave me when I was 21."
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like, he just has a lie. The cop is saying, like, "I told you to get rid of this car." Like, in the first scene with the cop, he's standing at the Lexus.
Yep.
Like, so they're all just like
they're in on it,
pretending, or we don't know, like, or it's really like he is crazy.
Yes.
Like, that's where it became interesting
also,
again.
It really makes you doubt too when he has that call with his wife, because it frames him as, okay, this guy's in so much denial. He's not seeing the reality as it is.
Unreliable
so then
narrator. Is this happening?
Yeah.
Again?
So they establish that for him, and then it makes you start to think. You as the viewer, and him as well. He starts to doubt: Am I homeless?
Yeah.
Have I been homeless? Am I?
Do I live here? Yeah, he really does.
Yeah.
Go down that path pretty hard, but then, so these guys, the Bay Boys, like, beat each other up. It's like Fight Club. They're just like, the whole thing is like where boys can be boys and like let off some steam, and like this way they don't hit their wives and like all this shit.
Very Manosphere.
Oh,
that was the cringiest line. They don't. If it keeps them from going to beat the Botox out of their wives.
Jesus, I want to hit that bitch. I get it now.
We come to find all the wives are unbearable.
Just a bunch of smack.
In this one case, he's right.
Yeah, there's one case. Make it look like an accident, but where was I going?
You were just talking about the guy.
Oh yeah, they're Bay Boys.
Club.
Yeah, they're fighting up. Okay, so the whole idea is that Scallywag, yeah, is this like person that he like grooms CEOs to be men again. Like, he breaks you down to nothing and then builds you back up to like the primal man you're supposed to be. But you only let that out in little areas that you're allowed to. And like, this is one of those areas. So we've only seen them as like these rough and tumble douchebags. And then they show up in the morning with all their families, all their nice cars, dressed up really nice, looking good. They got a pig on a spit. Like, they're living the life here. They're, cordial and opening doors for people and just completely 180.
They have all their family and little kids there.
Yeah, it's a beautiful time.
Like double lives.
And then Scally comes up with some food and says, "You better eat, mate. It's been a while." Because now at this point, Nick Cage is trying to drink non-potable water, which looked horrific and was disgusting. So good for him.
He's scrounging at this point.
Scrounge.
It's rough.
What a word.
Yeah.
And he doesn't want to take it. He doesn't. Surfer Nick Cage doesn't want to take any of this. He doesn't want anything from this person. So they kind of move on. And then when does it switch where they're like, "Okay, you're one of us now"? Like, when does that happen? Oh, okay.
So
I remember now.
So Nick Cage refuses this guy's food. He at this point too, he's digging in the trash.
Yeah. Eating
and
rats.
He's trying to find things. He climbs up a tree and he like finds little bird eggs. Like I don't know what kind, like if they were there were mockingbirds that they kept showing. I don't know if this was a mockingbird nest, but yeah, so he's eating these little bird eggs raw. And I missed the rat. Was that just in the car, the Subaru, or did they put it in there?
Outside. They put it in there. It was outside.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he like fights this rat out of his car.
Oh, you're right. No, you're right. It was in there.
Well, we were actually questioning whether, because like the hooligans, like the teenagers that come and pound on his car and like open the doors.
That's
and
true.
We were debating whether they threw the rat in there or whether it was just in there. But
I thought the rat was like
there's a rat in the car.
Yeah.
He's trying to get the rat out of the car.
That's true.
And he finally gets it and he's just bashing it against the side of the car. And I thought he was gonna eat it. And he doesn't. He like puts it in his pocket, but then like, he does try and eat it later, and he only stops himself because he looks up and it's broad daylight, and he's in a beach parking lot, and some guy's just looking at him with disgust.
Yeah.
So the rat goes back in the pocket.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then something snaps.
I remember. Yeah, I do remember this part. Yeah. So because this is like a wild scene. Like he just goes full. Like he's just accosting everyone in the parking lot, just screaming things. Like this is full. Like if you ran into him at this point, you think he's just a crazy guy.
It's after he saw
and
the
then
picture.
He sees the photographer.
Yes. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. So he runs up to the photographer and he's like, "You know me." And again, the movie's like playing with you, but she does. She's like, "Yeah, I know who you are." And he's like, "You remember me?" And he kind of has that breakdown, like realizing that he's not. She
shows him a picture of him with his Lexus.
Yeah, she shows him the picture, and it's proof that he is like who he thought he was 3 days ago.
Yeah,
he breaks down crying, and he's like, "I have a job.
I have a name."
Like, he had forgotten all of that.
Yeah.
Like he's genuinely just psychologically broken, as well as physically completely diminished.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah, not too diminished. Because he basically sees the hooligans laugh at him while he's crying, and that's the breaking point.
Yeah.
And he rips the locals only sign, runs down to the beach, and starts beating
the absolute
number one hooligan
out of the pit bull guy. Yeah.
And like beats him. Like Taylor's like, how is he so strong?
All he had to eat was.
He was gonna get his ass whooped because the other guy was like bigger than him anyways, but also he's been, at this point he's probably on 2 days with no food and water. Yeah.
But does it also tell you that like these people are just like play acting as like tough guys? I think that's part of it too.
They beat the French guy up.
Yeah, they punched him like 3 times in the face.
That was like 4-on-1 though too.
Yeah, but I think it was really like one guy fighting. Like, that guy looks.
He does look big.
I don't know.
If you took a punch in the face,
I think he
feel bad.
fell to the raw animal rage of Nick Cage.
He did.
Yeah,
he did. Primal.
And so Nick Cage goes, and the other thing too that was odd for me at that point, I thought the whole group was going to jump him.
Same.
But they don't. They're watching Nick Cage, and this just duke it out one-on-one with this guy, and Nick Cage, the surfer, gets him in the water. He's like punching him. He's like drowning him. He pulls the rat out of his pocket and he starts forcing it down that guy's throat. And he's like, "You eat the rat! Eat the rat!"
That's how you win a fight.
That was pretty badass.
it was toe to toe. Like they were kind of going back and forth till he shoved it around the guy's mouth. Like you don't fight back against that.
No, you're dead.
You run.
You're dead. And then they all accept him. And
Yeah,
they come around.
so the head Scally, he like calls out and he's like, "All right, mate, you know, oh, because Nick Cage is about to drown him."
Yeah, he's gonna die.
Yeah,
and
he's in the
Scally
process of drowning
calls
him.
out and he says, "All right, you win, let him up, you know."
Let him have some air.
And he does.
Hmm.
You know, Nick Cage backs off, and you know that all of a sudden he's welcomed into the group, and he's still kind of resisting. He doesn't buy it. He doesn't, you know, which you know he's afraid, and Scally starts telling, "Oh yeah, you know this guy here, he's a doctor, and you know we'll patch you right up." And they're and even me, even at this point, I'm still like, oh, because I thought maybe they're gonna like drug him up and then you know
They did later.
to slide him further. Like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, he's just a drug-addled homeless man.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, they get him,
But
and
no,
and then he finds out like the banker is one of the guys that he just beat up, and the realtor is one of these guys, and the cop is one of these guys, and
Yeah.
the coffee shop guy is one of these guys, and you know, everybody he's interacted with.
Yep. Everybody he's met with that has like mistreated him in any way, they're all like a part of this
Bad boys.
club.
Yeah.
which is wild because it's insane, but it also completely explains all of the insanity.
100%.
Like
Yeah.
basically, Scally has been setting this up. Scally found out he's trying to buy this house, and was like, "We got to test this dude."
Yep.
That's his whole
Yeah.
thing.
Because Scally also reveals he knows him.
Mm-hmm.
Scally recognized him the second he showed up. Oh yeah, you're that kid that grew up here.
Yeah.
Whose dad killed himself on the beach, we think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So yeah, Nick Cage is getting invited, being a badass. He's about to go surf out, and they're like, "No, we need to have one more test." So they go up to the homeless guy's
He's just gonna
Subaru.
skip over the night of psychedelic drugs.
Yeah, he got he did drugs and fucking ran around with them. That's fine. It's whatever.
There's some fun scenes in there.
Yeah, but
They also
I mean, it's not a story, but
they
Yeah.
promised him the house
they did.
because he's like,
Yeah.
oh, it's all worthless because I'm not going to get the house. And they're like, oh yeah, this guy's the president of the bank. You know, we'll take care of that, no problem.
Yep. Because he called the bank
Well, yeah,
earlier.
like, yeah,
and
it's,
they didn't have it. Couldn't get the money.
yeah. I guess that was part of the breaking point too. He borrows, but yeah, no, like it becomes very clear if you can trust anything in this movie that Scally, all of this was literally just a setup. Like they knew he wanted the house, and they were deciding whether they were going to let him in or not.
Mhm.
And he
Yeah.
proved himself by snapping and attacking them.
Yep.
And yeah,
and staying there for 4 days.
That's Scally's whole philosophy, right? You have to strip yourself down to nothing. And he did. He gave up all of his possessions.
Yep.
He gave up his sanity, his physical and mental health. He became completely ostracized from the group because you have to strip your ego down to nothing before you can be valuable.
And then once he's introduced to the group, he gets all of his stuff back.
Yep.
Perfectly
all of his
clean.
stuff is back.
They're fixing
like,
his car.
Your car's in here. You know, they're physically patching him up because they got a doctor.
Yeah, he's back to better than when we saw him at the beginning, I would say.
Mm.
And then his kid shows up as he lights the homeless guy's Subaru on fire. And I think Nick Cage kind of snaps back. He's like, "Oh shit, what am I doing?" Like,
because
I mean, he wasn't into it.
I think he was
trepidate.
he was nervous about it the whole time.
Yeah.
And he did allow himself to be talked into all of these things, okay, joining the group, but he was hesitant about it the whole way through.
Yeah.
I think that's fair to say.
It's the
But
house.
yeah,
I think
they finally do tell him, "Yep, your final test is this car." And again, he's protesting, but he gets convinced and he does it.
Yeah. The storyline of this movie to me is the surfer, Nick Cage, is trying to do the things that he thinks his kid wants him to do in order to be accepted by his kid, but none of those things are what the kid actually wants from him. He wants to like hang out with his dad. And this whole exercise is stopped and reversed in Nick Cage's mind when his kid shows up and sees him acting like this. And that kind of like snaps him out. And I think that made him realize like, oh, this isn't what he wanted. Like, this isn't how he wanted this to be. But Scally kind of talks him into, all right, come on down, surf with us, you know, whatever, we'll be cool. And Nick Cage like goes to his kid and he's like, I'll meet you down there. It'll be fine. And then goes to his car and he's rummaging for the gun. presumably, or
No,
what?
he's. I think he's just trying to leave.
Oh, he's looking for his keys. That's it.
Yeah,
He says
to
keys.
leave.
Yeah.
He says, "Where are my keys?" Like, I think he's trying to leave. Like, he's gonna grab his kid and they're gonna run.
Yeah, but he doesn't, and they go surfing. But as they're on their way, homeless man shows up with the bag from the bathroom earlier, which we know is a gun because Nick Cage shot it a couple times.
Might have like he's down to he wants to leave. He sees the homeless guy get the gun. Like the homeless guy shows up while he's looking for his keys, sees the car burning, like screams, and he's holding the gun. And he starts running down to the beach.
To like
and so Nick Cage is racing him down to the beach to like, protect his son.
So the homeless guy just fucks with these guys so incredibly well. Like holds a gun to him, they all panic, as you would. They're crying. He makes them bark to like not get shot in the back of the head, and he lets everyone go but Nick Cage, Scally, and his son. So the homeless guy's son, we find out, is most likely killed by Scally, or set up to be killed by Scally, because now Scally's dating his girlfriend at the time, and it's like really weird, creepy, like high school or
real scummy.
Oh yeah, it's bad.
Yeah, it seems like he started fucking around with the girlfriend and then like gets the son out of the picture.
Yeah.
Probably through psychological torture, because that's his whole. He's clearly capable.
It's pretty good
of ruining someone's life.
Yeah.
Because like he says, the kid took it hard and ended up in a drug den. I'm like, you did that.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened, but you did that.
You got him. And you got him there.
Yeah. Probably just like gave him meth. I don't know.
Have you tried meth? So Nick Cage is talking to the homeless guy, trying to get him and his kid's life saved, and he brings out the homeless guy's necklace that was his son's shark tooth that he won from surfing. And he talks to him. He's like, all I want to do is surf with my son. And then it kind of breaks the homeless guy, lets him go. And then we see Nick Cage and the son paddle out. And then we look back and like the waves are kind of crashing. And as one wave crashes, we hear a shot. And then the Scally's shot in the head, falls over. And then we see another couple waves. And then the homeless guy kills himself. And that's the movie.
Yeah.
So.
Yep, I think that does it.
Who are we supposed to be rooting for?
No one.
I mean, kind of.
I mean, I think you're kind of. Yeah. I think rooting for is a strong word as well, especially because Australian rooting is like fucking. So I know. So they always think that the phrase "rooting for" is really funny.
Oh, that's hilarious.
So maybe not appropriate for this movie, but yeah, I don't think that Nick Cage is supposed to be sympathetic, at least through most of the movie, right? I think we're watching this with him and experiencing this with him, and we're trying to figure out who he is, like just like he is, right? Is he crazy? I saw a theory that he is the old homeless man, and it's just a memory, and that he's talking about losing his son. But it's his actual son that he lost because he, I don't know that it quite holds up, but it is something to consider.
Interesting. It's an interesting.
Well, yeah, it's kind of like impossible to know because he could be an unreliable narrative. Like if you take the movie at face value, I think it's really fun and interesting because like if you take it at face value, it is explained. Like the craziness is explained because it's all being orchestrated, but at the same time, there's like there are these like parallels that line up across like all three different timelines. Like this, like there's him as a child losing his dad. There's the bum like losing his son, and there's he with his son right now who like this could have ended tragically. And there's like the surf tournament in two of them, and obviously these guys are surfers. There's like so many of the things are like blending so that it's hard to keep track of reality.
Yes.
Yeah.
Even like, the bum and Nick Cage swapping clothes and looking similar, everything. Like I think it's very intentionally super blurry. And it all just kind of blends together. Like his childhood, his present, and maybe his future could all be the same thing.
Ooh, string theory. Yeah, I think that's all fair. So toxic masculinity. Are you for it or against it after watching this movie?
For or against?
Somebody on Letterboxd said men really will do anything but go to therapy, huh? That was their review for this movie. Another good one was Rodent Boy Summer is back in the form of Nick Cage doing multiple inhumane things to a rat. And
Oh man.
last one was as a lifelong renter, this is actually what I think the process for buying a house is. Fair.
More attainable. That's the real review is like how many people would go through this to get a house?
Yeah, I had to write a
Like,
letter.
you have to go through these 3 days of psychological torture.
Like with a
beach view.
A beachfront view.
Right.
I'll do it. I'll lose my mind for a week. I mean, the guy gave him a shot. He was fine. Like, who cares?
Right. He really did recover so fast.
It was insane.
He woke up the next day and his face isn't puffy anymore. He's just doing great.
So do you think he ended up with the house at the end of the movie?
I don't think so.
Unless
he became the new leader of the cult.
See, yeah, that's it's tough to say because I think a cult like this, geez, if there were only something to parallel with it, in modern day politics, but a cult like this, I think, really hinges on the leader.
Yeah.
Right. You need a certain kind of charisma in a leader. Otherwise, I don't think there's anything there. And maybe there's some sort of like weird struggle for power, but I think after this, probably things kind of splinter. I do think it would be tough, right? This community has existed like this for years. It doesn't just go back overnight to a nice free public beach. But
no one's going to that beach.
Yeah, I don't think that that the leader dying, I don't think that it just survives the next day and the number 2 guy takes over.
Yeah.
Well, they were pretty broken as a group. Like, I think more so than the fight showing, like how they all were like for show, like they're all so tough and like laughing and just being super masculine. But like as soon as the gun comes out, like again, I would cry and do whatever he says too. But like these guys broke immediately. Like he really tore them apart.
Yeah.
And during the campfire night, when he first joined them, he's got to talking with some of them, and some of them were like, "Yeah, it's creepy that he's with this girl," and some of them were like, "Oh yeah,
Cult 101.
The story with this kid is suspect, with that homeless guy's kid." So there's already some questions in the group
for sure.
Yeah, the shine kind of. I mean, there's not really a shine, but like it wears like their facade drops, and it's just like a bunch of fucking dudes.
Yeah, very
doing drugs on the beach. One of my favorite is like they do the family day with like the luau and everything, and then the family goes home, and that's the night that they just like do like all the drugs. Yep. Like it's like Christmas Eve. It's literally it is Christmas Eve because the next is Christmas Eve they spent on the beach doing mushrooms with all their bros.
I mean,
this is my week with the bros.
And
there was a moment when a mother, like one of the wives, comes through with their kids and are like, "Are you serious?" And he's like, "I'm hanging out with my guys," and she's like, "It's been 3 days."
Yeah, that's right.
Like it
starts to unravel there. Yeah. So I gave it a 5 out of 10. What did y'all give it?
I just think it's too interesting to be a 5 out of 10.
Yeah.
Again, I don't know if I even want to watch it again. I was very unhappy watching a lot of this movie. But I think it's too interesting.
Sure.
And the more we talk about it, the more I like it.
Yeah, I agree. I think it'd be interesting on a second watch to see, right, just to pick up on more details, right, and then knowing that everybody's in on it, knowing that, right, look for. I want to see if I can find brand marks on people, different things like that. But I don't know. I give this an easy 7. I might even give it a little bit higher, but for sure a 7 for me.
I think it's a 7 for me.
Nice. I would recommend. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just saying it's too much of a mindfuck to not like place it above average.
Sure.
Yeah, and another shout out to the cinematography on this.
Yeah, that was cool.
They had some really cool shots. The whole movie's very yellow.
Yeah.
And
sunstroke.
Yeah, a lot of that is right. They're trying to portray this desert of Australia heat. I guess it's not a desert because they're by the water, but it has
Yeah.
this heat. Um, and actually, no, you can have a desert by an ocean, can't you?
Sure.
I was trying to decide whether or not it was enough to say anything, but I'm not confident enough to
Right?
say so.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of our Catan setups, and yeah, you can have a desert by an ocean.
Yeah,
But,
that's based it on.
and very, very like 70s vibe too, like with the poster,
Mm.
just the 70s text. Also funny, most characters don't have a name, including the titular
Surfer.
character. He's
Yeah.
just the surfer.
Yeah.
Yeah, subtitles are fun.
The
You
surfer.
got Pitbull and the cult leader
Scally.
Scally,
Scallywag.
but everyone else, the surfer, the bum.
The
photographer.
cinematographer for this movie also did the Babadook. Radek Lachuk from Poland.
Listening.
How would you watch this knowing what you know now? Would you skip it, stream it, rent it, theater it, digitally buy it, or physically buy it?
So I actually digitally bought this movie, and I did so on a bit of a gamble. I had the same thing with Nate, right? I went to look at it, and for me on Amazon, it was 10 to rent or 15 to buy.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
you know what? I'm going to make a bet. It's Nick Cage. I'll spend the extra 5 and buy it. I'm glad I did. I think for me, I could see that I'm glad I bought this movie so I could show others. Like,
Mhm.
dude, you got to check
Mhm.
this movie out. It's wild.
Fair point.
Man, the toughest part is like having to watch it again to show someone else. I'm like, you
Yeah.
go watch it, and then we'll talk about it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I do think I'd be interested in watching it again. I did rent it. Yeah, I would stream it. Like I don't need to do it. I can wait for it to come on a streaming service.
That's where
Yeah,
I'm at. Yeah.
yeah.
Streaming.
Yeah.
Well, that was. Any last thoughts?
I was just gonna say too. This will now go on my list whenever someone says, "What's your favorite Christmas movie?" I'll be able to throw this one on there.
Nice.
What a movie.
That's awesome. All right, 5.5.
You gotta strip yourself down bare and question everything
right.
before the Christmas cheer.
Right.
Right. That was The Surfer, now available on demand. All right. I was busy today, so we're playing another movie draft.
You know what? I gotta give you kudos. I don't know if it was an original Ben idea, but I think movie draft is a great last minute game.
Thanks. Not my
I think
idea,
it's a good feeling.
but I'll take credit for it.
It's simply lie.
Yeah, I took credit for it. No, there's a podcast I see from The Ringer that has episodes called like Movie Draft or Simpsons Draft, and I've never watched one. I was like, oh, that's a fun idea. And then I think I tried to figure out how they did it one day, and it's not anything like ours from what I could tell, so still good enough.
So it is original.
Well, no.
I don't watch The Simpsons, by the way, but I heard that they killed Marge.
Yeah, they did. But in like a flash forward that retcons another flash forward. Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm pretty sure they've like killed main character, and they do all sorts of stuff, but I don't think it ever really sticks.
No, they didn't go as far as the Family Guy, who killed Brian off for like 2 episodes and everybody rioted. Or when Mr. Burns got shot, that was the end of a season, I believe, or a cliffhanger like week to week, and people like bet on it, like bet money.
Yeah, it was the end of a season to the start of a new season.
Yeah, it was hilarious.
Yeah.
And they had a contest for that too.
Yep. It was Maggie. Spoiler.
I googled this. I googled The Simpsons killed Marge, and there's a CNN article saying Marge Simpson isn't dead yet, so everyone calm down.
Yeah. I mean,
I laughed at the headline and I saw it was CNN.
what other show is as ubiquitous as The Simpsons anymore?
No.
Like Sesame Street's even gone.
I mean, it's also like,
Too
but
soon.
also who's still watching The Simpsons?
No one, but everyone remembers how good it was, so they go back. Everyone like
But
I'll watch
so
Treehouse
they
of
just
Horror.
keep making it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah. Like I'll go watch old Simpsons, but who's watching the new episodes of The Simpsons on cable?
I'll watch the new.
Who is watching this?
The Treehouse of Horror ones? I'll watch. Those are usually pretty.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
That's it though. One Halloween I watched all of them. That was a fun day.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, it was all right. There was like 5 meh ones. The rest were all like, ooh, interesting. Okay,
I
so
mean, there is a problem that it's just like the same problem as Rick and Morty. It's just parodying like existing sci-fi stories.
Yes, 100%.
So like when you're like, ooh, that's an interesting idea, that just means you haven't seen the original thing that it's based off, because there's no original ideas in any of it.
Not anymore.
It's just with Simpsons.
So our game is we're going to take movies from the year 2012 on a list from IMDb. And we are going to pick movies snake draft style to fit in one of 6 categories: Oscar wins, Oscar nominations, box office, highest letterbox rating, most letterboxd reviews, and lowest letterboxd rating.
Damn.
Now, I believe
2012
Nate
is wild.
won the last game. Does that sound right?
No, it doesn't
No.
sound right.
All right, Jake won last.
Oh
game.
wait, the last game.
Yeah.
I might have won the last game. I didn't win the last. I thought you
You've
meant
never
movie
won a
draft.
draft.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
No, I know I haven't won a movie draft.
So
That's
because
why
of
I'm
that-
surprised when you said it.
Nate's gonna go first. Jake is gonna go second. I'm gonna go last. So, Nate, with the first pick in the 2012 movie draft, who do you select?
I am going to take the Avengers.
I'm shocked. Okay. Wait, I do this. I forgot. Okay. Jake, who are you gonna take?
Kind of gonna look.
I'll take Argo.
Argo, nice.
Interesting.
Good choice. I am gonna take shoot. So I'm debating between The Dark Knight Rises and The Hunger Games for box office. Which one of those is higher? And I have a feeling it's The Hunger Games. So I'm gonna go with The Hunger Games for one pick. And then for my second pick, I'm looking for something that was probably nominated but didn't win a lot of awards, because I think Argo definitely won a lot. So I want to see. I'm gonna go with. Shoot, I just had it. I'm gonna go with. Wow, this is a weird year. So just for context, there's like Dark Knight Rises, Django, The Avengers, Hunger Games, Hobbit, Silverling's Playbook, Skyfall.
I thought that was later.
I did too. I remember us hating it in the theater. That was funny when
You
we both.
hated Django and.
Oh no, sorry. I thought you were talking about The Hobbit. I love Django.
Oh, okay.
You and I went and saw The
You
Hobbit.
confused me.
Oh no, wait.
Yeah.
All 3 of us went to the first one. Just me and Nate went to the second one. And I remember about a half hour before the end of the movie, it had a false ending, and me and Nate both audibly sighed when it kept going.
Oh.
I'm gonna go with Life of Pi for my next pick.
Oh.
I feel like that one
nice.
probably got nominated for a couple things. Jake, who's your second pick?
Nice. In that case, will take Django.
Django, great choice. That definitely was nominated for a lot too. Nate, who are you taking? You get 2 picks in a row.
I'm gonna pick up The Dark Knight Rises.
Dark
Surprised
Knight.
you guys didn't for high ratings.
That's a good choice too.
I mean, I know it's not 2, but
That's pretty good.
I will also take Moonrise Kingdom.
Moonrise Kingdom, great choice. Wes Anderson, that's
How do you get
one of
some
his
nods?
best. Yeah. Jake, what are you thinking?
Okay. So now.
You did drop off quickly. I'm like 2021, and I do not recognize these movies.
Okay.
Oh, lower. There's some movies I like.
Yeah.
7 Psychopaths, Looper.
Yeah, there's some winners down there. The new
Wow.
Dread.
Twilight 2 is down there.
Oh.
Oh no, wait. It's the finale. It's the Breaking Dawn Part 2.
Wow. Lincoln's down
Ooh.
there.
That's
Quite low. It's got to be good for box.
Oh yeah, it is.
It's
Yeah.
number 37.
You know what? It's hold on. Let me see
I
the.
shouldn't have said that.
Well, it depends on how you're sorting it. Also,
I already have my box office.
Yeah, you don't need it.
Ooh.
Okay, give me
Yeah,
Silver
whatever.
Linings.
That's a good choice.
Yeah, that's right. That won a lot, didn't
Yeah,
it?
it did. So I know I said I was going to do Life of Pi for my nominations, but I don't think I am after seeing this movie, Les Mis. That motherfucker got tons of nominations, I think.
Shit.
Okay, so I have my list right now is The Hunger Games, Life of Pi, and Les Mis. So I think I have both of my Oscar ones and box office locked in. So I want highest rating, lowest rating, and most rating. So for me, I have a feeling that Cloud Atlas is going to be absolutely pooped on in ratings. So I'm going to go Cloud Atlas for my second selection.
Okay. Let me see what I'm missing.
So Jake so far has Argo, Django Unchained, and Silver Linings Playbook.
Have you considered Magic Mike?
Oh,
Spring Breakers.
Oh, that one was weird. I like that one though.
That was a weird one.
I liked it.
That is a weird, but you know what? That's a movie that's I only saw it the once and it was forever ago. It's a movie I still think about from time to time.
Yeah, 100%.
So that movie has actually stuck with me.
It's got some staying power for sure.
Just James Franco's grill.
Oh my god, that was so funny.
Okay, I know what I'm looking for now.
James Franco.
Yeah.
We have that.
So Jake,
you know what Ben didn't?
What?
Okay, I am gonna take Breaking Dawn.
Yeah. Twilight 2, Breaking Dawn, Electric Boogaloo. Nate, who are you taking? You have two in a row. You have
take Lincoln.
Lincoln's a good choice.
I think that's got to have some awards, right?
I mean, we know one.
And I don't know. Actually, I don't know what you're.
Daniel Day-Lewis won for Best Actor for Lincoln.
Oh, good to know.
Pretty sure.
That makes sense.
Like I'm 89.9% positive.
Got it. I had another one picked out. Oh yeah, The Amazing Spider-Man.
Oh,
that is my lowest Letterboxd rating.
Andrew Garfield.
Yeah, get fucked, Andrew Garfield.
Yikes. That's a good one. That's a good one. Jake, coming on back, you have Argo, Django, Silver Linings Playbook, and Twilight Breaking Dawn Part 2. What are you bringing to the party?
So and we get two more choices here, right?
Correct.
You know what? Give me Spring Breakers.
Spring Breakers. Spring Breakers. All right, so for my highest review, I'm going Zero Dark 30. And then for my most review, which is my last selection, this one's tough because there's a lot of like very okay, like The Dictator could have got bombed with reviews. The Hobbit could have. Prometheus could have. Skyfall maybe. Sinister could have. The Master's a weird one, but I think a lot of people saw that. But what I'm trying to think of like what would have a lot of people seen and a lot of movie people wanted to comment on. Like that's kind of the mix you got to go for. Oh.
I most reviewed is such a weird one to think about because you know it doesn't always match 1-to-1 with you know how many people go see it.
Right, like Jack Reacher's number 3 on popularity on this list. There's no way I think Jack Reacher's near the top 10.
Yeah.
Or The Hunt. I've never even heard of that. I'm gonna guess Pitch Perfect because.
Damn it! I just picked that out as my most reviews.
I think Drama Kids, you know, they're definitely gonna write about that one.
Oh, there's a lot of like meta jokes about Pitch Perfect too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm good. I picked it out. Fuck.
All right, well, you get a little bit of time because Jake is up next. Jake has Argo, Django,
A couple options.
Silver Linings Playbook, Twilight 2, Spring Breakers, and one more. I think we are going to do one where we have to draft in order, like which one we want. But I think that takes away some of the strategy.
Yeah, you know what?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. It'd almost add to the strategy too.
Yeah, that's fair.
It'd just be a different game, right?
Yeah, we'll try it.
Yeah.
Okay. You know what? I want to see what people say for Letterboxd review. I don't think it's going to be a great hit, but for my Letterboxd review count, give me Abe Lincoln Vampire Hunter.
Hell yeah.
There'll be some good ones.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
All right, that leaves The Hobbit open, right?
It does.
Oh, nice.
The Hobbit.
I'm moving The Amazing Spider-Man to most reviews.
Okay, and the lowest
putting The
review.
Hobbit lowest.
There was also Wrath of the Titans, which I think would have definitely been lowest now that I looked back, but that's all right.
It's tough because the first Hobbit is the least bad one.
Yes.
Like the other two would have been like 100%, but I still think it's gonna be up there.
The first one, when they switched to the fucking GoPro footage, and it like it's very obvious.
Was that in the first one?
Yeah.
That's the worst.
Irate. I was irate when I saw that in theaters.
Yeah. Did they say like in theater one of us was like they get a GoPro?
Is that a fucking GoPro? We were not good moviegoers when we were younger. Like in college, I remember me and a buddy went to 10,000 BC. That'll be next year's Academy Award loss for me, is watching that movie again. And it was just so stupid. Like we didn't buy into the premise. It didn't feel like they were in that year, and like it was a packed theater, and they had like fried chicken and a stretcher, and like our brains at that point were like, are you fucking kidding me? And the guy in front of us like gets up and walks forward, and we're like, oh, he's leaving, what a badass. And he just moved so he wouldn't have to hear us talking anymore. I was like, you actually want to pay attention to this movie? That sucks.
You're ruining my 10,000 BC experience.
But I do get it, because if I heard that in a theater now, the age I am now, I would have fucking popped myself in the face, dude. What a dick. Shut up.
I mean, depends on the movie, man.
No, because it's not everyone's experience to do what I'm doing.
That's fair.
You know what I mean? If I'm streaming it at home, you bet your ass you're getting some commentary. Okay. We have our categories selected. Let's go one by one and figure this out. First category is Oscar wins. Jake has Argo.
Never seen it.
I know it won Best Picture.
It stuck out to me because I'm like, I know Argo won Best Picture, so it's hard to win Best Picture without getting nominated or without winning other things, right?
Yeah, you're right. It won 3. It got editing, writing, and motion picture of the year. So 3.
All right, that's solid.
3 for Jake. Let's see. Next up, we have Lincoln from Nate.
Haven't seen it. No spoilers.
Don't watch it in a theater.
Actually, I have seen it. I just thought of that joke.
Ooh.
I've definitely seen this movie. I remember. I remember a couple scenes.
It won Best Performance by an Actor in a Leading Role. Daniel Day-Lewis as the aforementioned Lincoln. And the other one it won was Best Achievement in Production Design. So it has 2 to Jake's 3. Last but not least, Life of Pi from your boy. I don't think this one won any.
Really? It didn't win.
You like sacrifice to put Les Mis in number 2?
I thought I did, but it won 4. It won Best Director, Best Cinematography, Best Music, and Best Special Effects.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. All right, so Ben gets 3 points there.
Goddamn CGI tiger.
I know, dude. Jake gets 2 and Nate gets 1. All right, next up, Oscar nominations.
Shocker.
Jake is there with Silver Linings Playbook. That's a great choice. Jennifer Lawrence won for her role. So you have at least one nomination. It's the only one that won. And out of the 8 nominations.
Jesus.
That's a lot.
That's
a lot.
like double what I was
Yeah.
kind of expecting.
8. Next up, Nate had Moonrise Kingdom. It was nominated for 1 Oscar, Best Screenplay. All right, so it's 8.
That's harsh. Art design, costume.
Yeah, I mean, it was a big year. Lincoln was there.
Yeah.
Les Mis was there.
God damn it.
All right, Les Mis won 3 Oscars. How many was it nominated for? 8. We tied 8
Okay.
to 8. So we each get 3, and Nate gets 1.
Feels rude.
It's Taskmaster rules, brother. Don't know what to tell you. Be better.
I think honestly,
there's no defined rules in Taskmaster.
yeah,
That happens all the time.
I think that's the standard.
Because we're tied for first, so we each get
way
first
to
place.
deal with a tie.
And then you get third
Yeah.
place, because if we didn't
and then
tie,
you
you'd
still
be
get
second.
third.
Yeah, you bum.
You should have to split the points, 2.5 each.
Well, I think the world's not fair, so fucking get over it. Next up, we have box office. I'm sorry, that was unnecessary.
I'm just so pissed when Twilight
Box
beats
office,
Avengers.
the fight for second.
Yeah, honestly. Number 1, The Avengers, 623 million. All right, Nate got that. Good job. Next up, we have Hunger Games and Twilight 2.
First pick.
Which one? So, number 2 was Dark Knight Rises. Number 1 was The Avengers. Number 4 was Skyfall. Me and Jake picked number 3 and number 5. Number 3 had 408 million. Number 5 had 286 million.
I think it's
assume-
got to be
I assume-
Twilight first.
I was gonna say because Hunger Games is more family friendly,
Mm-hmm. You're not
so
wrong.
I'm gonna go with that.
It is correct. Hunger Games is number 3, and Breaking Dawn Part 2 is number 5.
We, as a group, we picked box office movies phenomenally.
Yeah, we did.
I got last place with the number 5 movie.
I know, we kind of crushed
Yeah.
that. All right, so Jake has 6, Nate has 5, and Ben has 8. What was the bonus point? What was that under? Oscar wins or?
No, that was
No, that was
under
under highest rating.
Highest rating.
yeah,
In the top 100.
our next category here.
All right, highest letterbox rating. Jake picked Django Unchained. Let's see what they have to say about Django Unchained. Last time I got kicked out of the website because I have a ad blocker on. So see if that happens again. 4.31 for Django Unchained.
Solid.
Next up is
Have you seen that comedy bit about what an ally Leonardo DiCaprio is for being willing to go up there and scream the N-word in front of Samuel L. Jackson?
Jamie Foxx.
And the guy's like, honestly, you know, we need someone to portray the white villain.
Yeah.
And he's like, all right, I'll go all in.
Yeah. You know me.
I actually saw a clip today about Jamie Foxx talking about how he bullied Leonardo DiCaprio into being racist for the movie.
Yeah, he was like, you need to go all in. People need to know how bad it was. Like, you
Yeah,
stop.
he just said like he kept going in every day, like saying hi, and he was like, every time he said hi back to him, he was like, "You would not talk to me." Like, he's like, "You gotta like embrace it."
So what did Django have? 3.19? Was that what it was?
Yeah.
Zero Dark 30.
No, 4. I thought it was 4.1.
4. Oh, do you mean 4.3?
Hold on.
Mine was
He
4.3
meant
something.
He meant 4.3.
Django Unchained. Yes. 4.31. Thank you. Zero Dark 30. I think it was less. Is 3.69.
Oh, so suddenly Django comes 3.1.
Yeah.
yeah.
Dark
Couldn't
Knight
have beat me.
Rises 3.78.
Get wrecked.
And the winner is Jake with that solid 3 points.
I agree with that
Nate
rating, but
with
I'm
2
surprised.
points and me with 1. Now, did anybody get the bonus point? Let's find out after we check these reviews.
Maybe me.
So I'm not gonna look at Zero Dark 30 because I'm guessing they won't be funny, but I'm gonna look at the other two because I think they have a better shot. So Django Unchained for top 250 is number 53. Bonus point for Jake. You now have 10. Let's hear some reviews. The story of Broomhilda that Christoph Waltz tells to Django is literally Shrek.
I don't remember the story of Brunhilde enough, but that's funny regardless.
Yeah, that tracks.
The N-word is probably Tarantino's second favorite thing after feet. And yeah, there's a lot of people just talking about how many times they say that word. All right. Let's check Dark Knight Rises. Is that one in the top 250? Does Nate also get a bonus point? He does. It's number 71. Nate up to 8 points. I have 9. Is Zero Dark 30 in the top 250 movies of all time? It sure isn't. No point for your boy. But we have reviews of Dark Knight Rises.
Thank God.
I love watching this as I have a seizure. I love Tom Hardy so bad. I wish I could write an essay about Mobland, but it's not here. Bruh. All right, so it's not that good either. Okay.
Jokes.
Yeah.
That's right. We got our lowest ratings.
That's right. Which is last, because next is most Letterboxd reviews. Jake selected Spring Breakers. That's a good choice. It's a very movie person's movie because of who made it. 315,000 ratings. 315,000
I don't know if that's good or bad.
ratings.
Yeah, I don't remember from last year. I was stuck here because as I was looking for this category, pretty much everything that was catching my eye was R-rated.
Yeah.
Which kind of hurts it, I think.
That's a very good point. Nate's pick was The Amazing Spider-Man. 1.35 million reviews.
Shit.
Tough. And last but hopefully not least, Pitch Perfect. With an astounding 926,000 reviews. Nate takes it again. Nate with 11.
Letterboxd, apparently.
Are we all
Jake
tied
with
up?
11. Me with 11. Going into the final lowest Letterboxd rating. But first, let's see some reviews. The Amazing Spider-Man. Review activity. This contains Stan Lee's best Marvel cameo scene. I don't make the rules. Spider-Man uses Bing instead of Google in this movie.
Oh, for the record, I forgot about that. Was The Surfer was put out by Apple, right?
No.
No?
No. F1 will be. This was like Roadhouse. Roadhouse did that one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I haven't seen Pitch Perfect, so these are funny to me. But what feels gay and homophobic at the same time is a quote. So apparently that's pretty funny. And then Spring Breakers. Have seen this one, so I feel like it's going to be wild. And I over under on how many reviews we have to look at before we see someone mention James Franco's teeth.
It's got to be the number one.
That's kind of what I'm thinking. Number one is
all I can remember.
If I have
or the way he talks.
Yeah, number one is if I have to hear James Franco say Spring Break one more time, I swear to fucking God.
Spring Break.
I think this movie gave me herpes. James' character waving his guns around saying Spring Break forever, y'all, is what I see in the corner of my room during sleep paralysis. That's good shit. All right. So it's tied up at 11 all across the board, with our last one being lowest Letterboxd rating. Nate, you chose The Hobbit. It would be my lowest Letterboxd rating of these movies we've seen so far. But is it everyone else's?
I'm worried about it, but of the three up there, I think it is the worst one.
Hobbit 1 is the most salvageable because it had the songs at least, right?
Yeah, Nate, this did better than
It's just
Jake's pick for
yeah.
best.
I just pulled it up and I'm quite worried.
3.53 for Hobbit.
Damn it!
An
I
unexpected
want to see
journey.
what this. I want to see what the second two are.
Yeah. So you're gonna get 1 point. I think
3.4 and 3.3. Jesus.
I know.
Who's out there liking these movies?
People who download the Letterboxd app.
Ugh.
Okay, Abraham Lincoln, Vampire Hunter is Jake's pick. 2.51. That's a great number.
That is low.
That's a whole number lower than Nate's choice. Last.
I feel like I'm a victim of people's poor movies. Poor movie taste.
I can see that. Last,
I'm like, but I don't know. People love to make fun of The Hobbit. It did good. It did good, didn't it?
It did.
Cloud Atlas.
I mean, it made money. Yeah, they wouldn't have kept doing it.
So I gave up Nate all this shit. What was The Hobbit's number?
3.5, 3.4, something like that.
I think it was 3.51, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Cloud Atlas 3.48.
He still squeaked it out.
I know. I'm not gonna read the reviews for that because it's not funny.
I don't. Yeah. I remember the movie being a letdown.
Yes.
Because I quite like the book.
Sure.
But I don't. And it's just all anyone remembers is the goofiness of the one. The like future.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, which was real goofy.
I've never seen it, but
Tom
I
Hanks.
believe you.
Oh man, no. Like the whole thing, it's like 7 timelines. Like it skips through time by like huge leaps. And at the end, they're talking with like future talk. They're like they're just like, we do the big choo choo. Like it sounds real dumb, and watching Tom Hanks do it especially is hilarious.
Oh my god!
But like most of the movie isn't set in that. Like it's set in like all the timelines.
Modern day.
Yeah.
Hold on. Was I the only one to get the bonus point?
Yeah, Nate did too.
No, we all got the bonus point.
I didn't get the bonus point. Everyone but Nate did.
Oh, Ben didn't get the bonus point.
Or everyone but I did, and I already put him in there. So we're good.
Yeah. Now I was just because I thought there was only one bonus point, so then I thought the numbers didn't add up, but they do add up.
Deuce. So let's read some Hobbit.
Jake doing his checksums.
Yeah.
I was calculating up mod 6, and I'm like, we're off by 1.
Oops. The Hobbit, technically a musical if you try hard enough.
Nice. That's a generous review.
Yeah, they give it 2.5 stars. You could easily cut like 2 hours off of this.
I hold there's a good movie in the 3 of those combined.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love those funky little hobbits. That's who you're up against, Nate.
God damn it.
Sorry if you can't handle the truth, pussies, but this movie is a masterpiece. Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter. My mom is still super convinced that Abraham Lincoln was truly a vampire hunter. I cannot detect any sarcasm, but I'm hoping to God she's joking. Yeah, a lot of that. How can a movie about Abraham Lincoln slaying vampires be so goddamn boring? Fair point.
You know what? Where's the crossover? Sinners 2.
Ooh. I was trying to think of like a funny thing to say, but they all didn't feel right. Speaking of funny things to say, I got some funny things to tell you. Thank you for listening to our episode today. I'd like to thank my guests for joining us, Nate and Jake, as always. Appreciate you guys. If you're new here, you can follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and anywhere else you can get your podcasts. If you do listen to Apple Podcasts, please leave us a review. If you're watching us, yo. Be sure to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/@RumbleCinema. You can get these episodes anytime they come out. Gentlemen, as always,
yes.
What do you have to recommend to the people?
I finished my decently long, I think, watch through of Suits.
Ooh.
I think it clocks in at 9 seasons.
Thanks.
They have the Suits spinoff coming up. Maybe it's even already started. I don't remember. Suits LA.
Yep.
So I'm like, oh,
Wild.
I'll check out Suits. Oh, plus I had been introduced to Suits by a lot of like YouTube shorts of clips, and I'm like,
I see those all
of,
the
of
time.
yeah, of course you're
Mm.
getting a curated thing, but I'm like, okay, these clips are funny, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Mm.
And Suits was good. It was too long.
Mm.
You know, they definitely should have ended it sooner, but you know, they're making money. You know how
Right.
it is. They keep going with
Get to
it.
syndication and get out. That's the whole point.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm.
So yep. Overall, I enjoyed it.
Nice.
Would recommend it. I'll check out the new one too.
Cool. Where can you see this?
I watched it on Netflix
Nice.
actually.
Netflix. I think that's where the remake is too, isn't it?
I don't know. I haven't looked into the remake
Maybe
because I
Peacock.
just finished the other funny thing to point out, and maybe I already did, but the I had forgotten how much Dexter in when they flash back to
Mm.
young Dexter. Oh my god, they literally just put a long hair, like shoulder length hair wig on Dexter.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
And there's
So
this
funny.
obviously late 30s man in a
high
wig
school.
acting like he's in high school, and it is insane.
They might as well just put braces on him and been like, "Hey, Dad."
Yeah, it's
Just put him
I
on his
cannot
knees
believe
in little shoes.
it. Yeah.
Wait, hold on. I saw a clip on a podcast with Brad Williams, who is a dwarf that's also a comedian, and he was talking about this movie with Gary Oldman, where Gary Oldman and the guy from Game of Thrones, Tyrion,
Peter Dinklage.
Peter Dinklage are twins, but they don't do it like Amazon just did. They do it where Gary Oldman has his hands like kind of tied behind his back to make it look like he has raptor arms, and he has his knees in his shoes. And that's how they shoot the whole movie.
Wait, this is actually a movie.
Real movie. Yeah.
I remember hearing about that. Yeah, because Peter Dinklage, he gets a lot of flack about you know, he made it as a little person actor, and then he, you know, pulled up the ladder
Yep. So to
behind him,
speak.
which I right. It kind of gave me pause right before I said it, and I'm like, I can't think of anything else. But I disagree with that. Not like I'm super qualified to speak on that, but I
Sure.
think that's just people hating on a popular guy.
Yeah.
Is there any example other than the Snow White movie?
No, and
Which-
it's like
which
not even like
he-
that was his choice.
Yeah.
No, and he like all he said was like that they shouldn't make it a caricature. Like he didn't say they
Yeah.
shouldn't use like have little people be
Right.
the actors.
Right. This movie is also starring
So
Matthew
weird.
McConaughey, who also looks like he's playing a person of shorter stature, and Kate Beckinsale.
I mean, are you talking about the movie called Tiptoes?
It's called Tiptoes. I think we have to watch this movie now.
I really don't want to.
I think you might enjoy it. Let's see. Let me see what Letterboxd has to say about Tiptoes. Maybe that'll help us decide if we should watch it or not.
It's got a 22% on Rotten Tomatoes.
That's higher than I thought it'd be.
And the audience and the critics agree.
1.77.
22% and 23%.
Oof.
Let's see.
God, so is the plot here Matthew McConaughey?
Oh, here we go.
'Cause I'm just reading the tagline. It says Carol falls in love with Steven without knowing much about him, but when she finds herself pregnant, it forces him to expose a secret about his family. Is the secret that people in his family have dwarfism?
Yeah, Gary Oldman and Matthew McConaughey both
God
play
damn it.
little people.
Oh, that's so fucked.
This film might be under investigation for war crimes.
Jesus.
I was an
Christ.
atheist before I watched Tiptoes, but now I wholeheartedly believe in hell. I've seen it with my 2 eyes.
This is actual audience review on Rotten Tomatoes. Absolute must-see film. You must see it. Watch it. It's not good, but you still have to see it.
Okay. This person's review is incredible. It says wasn't short enough.
Not cool.
I'm gonna put that on the spinner for next time.
God damn it. I hate you.
Thanks, Jake. So your recommendation was Suits, right? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Nate, do you have one?
I got nothing.
Okay, I got one.
But I do have a movie trailer for us to watch
Oh, nice.
that we should just watch because I can't put it on the spinner because it's not coming out until October.
Okay,
But it looks good.
what's it called?
Roofman.
Oh yeah, I have that on my list to watch. Hell yeah. Okay, good. That's good.
It looks really good.
So go check out the trailer for Roofman.
That's my recommendation for this week.
I like that. Woof.
Oh,
I know.
actually, what I've actually been like doing all week is listening to the Cosmonaut Variety Hour, which is a movie reviewer. He has a series called The Worst Superhero Movie ? And he just watches every superhero movie and then decides if it's the worst superhero movie of all time.
Has he gotten to Iron Man 2 yet?
I think he has. He's got controversial opinion. He actually, because this is stuff I watch while I'm like cooking and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
He was going through Marvel movies and he was like, he said Iron Man 3 was the best Iron Man movie, and I turned and looked at my phone. He's got spicy takes.
Oh my god.
He also has like videos where he goes through and just watches entire series, like all the Spider-Man movies, all the Batman movies. And we're talking like back to the beginning of Batman.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah.
Not bad.
It's like a guy who like clearly can do film analysis, but is very casual. Like he's just he'll say something really insightful in the middle of making a shitload of jokes and making fun of stuff.
That's kind of tight. I like that.
Yeah. That's all I've been listening to for like a week straight when I'm, listening to YouTube.
I like it. I like it a lot. My recommendation is a book I'm listening to, and it's also a podcast called The Memory Palace. It's a collection of short stories about funny historical oddities, and I was mowing listening to it one time, and they had one about the candy bar. Just look it up. It's called Candy Bar. It's 12 minutes long. I stopped mowing. It was so cool. Like, it was such an impressive story.
Damn.
And it was read by Ryan Reynolds on the Spotify edition. So if you have Spotify Premium, you can listen to audiobooks 1 a month, or 15 hours a month. Check out The Memory Palace. If you don't,
Fancy.
grab the podcast. It's free. Look up the episode called The Candy Bar. That'll get you started. Yeah. So remember that as we remember how much we care about all of you. And thank you all for listening. Enjoy your rum. Enjoy your cinema. We'll see you next time.